Hartley, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, alongside the Director of Recruiting, Greg Powers.
What's up?
You want to do some more rankings?
I want to do some offensive line rankings for sure. You know how excited I get about these pancake makers.
Pancake makers. I love it. As you can see, they're right there behind us. We're continuing on our series, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 interior offensive linemen in the class of 2026 in the state of Texas. And starting out at number 1, just right down the road from us, we're going to North Crowley, and we're going to be talking about John Turntine III. And he's actually the only one in your top 10 list that is ranked in the top 10 prospects overall in the state of Texas. He's checking in at number 4 on that list. But on this list, he's number 1, 6'4", 275. He's already got a couple of official visits locked in to Texas, Texas A&M, and Tennessee. 247's got him warm on Georgia and Michigan. He just got back from Michigan this weekend, and it looks like he might be scheduling an official visit with the Wolverines here pretty soon. But all the top dogs are wanting to get their hands on John Turntine III.
I always keep TCU in the mix for anybody at North Crowley.
North Crowley, it's
saying,
it's an automatic pipeline.
You know, Texas A&M definitely have a good shot to keeping him in state. But what makes Turntine so special is his athleticism, right? He is a guy who can get to the second level easily, runs like a linebacker, moves just as quick as a linebacker. So he really doesn't struggle to pick up those blocks in space, and he plays with a good mean streak. He's just fun to watch. Like, if you're talking about tapes, you're talking about one of the best tapes in the Lone Star State, regardless of position. And interestingly, he tops our interior offensive line rankings. I think he could play center, he could play guard, and he could play tackle. Of course, he's North Crowley's left tackle, helped guide them to a state championship last year, and he's entrenched into that position in high school. But as he transitions into college, he could truly play anywhere, and that makes him unique. Let's just make him number 1 on the interior offensive line and figure out where he plays after the dust settles once he gets to college.
Well, there's already a crystal ball projection on him. Do you know
where's he
take
predicted?
A guess?
I'm going to guess Texas.
Correct.
Yeah.
We'll see if that pans out. But number 1, John Turntine III. Number 1 interior offensive lineman in the class of 2026 in the state of Texas. And at number 2, we're going to go to Midlothian, staying in the DFW area. And we're going to be talking about Noah Best, 6'4", 290. He also has a couple of official visits scheduled for the summer. We've got him rated as a 3-star in the class of 2026. And he's got an official visit scheduled to Missouri as well as Oklahoma.
Yep. Sooners have been in this one for a long time. I think they probably might be considered the leaders in Noah Best's recruitment at this point. Done a tremendous
got a crystal
job
ball
there.
on him.
Yeah, and he's been there for a lot of visits already and stuff to Norman. So that's one that I'm watching pretty closely for the Sooners. But Noah Best is a tank.
best.
Yeah, he is a tank. He's so much fun to watch at Midlothian because, you know, they get after it so hard up front, and their offensive line last year was really great, and it was hard to pick out who was the best offensive lineman on that team because they had 2 there that were really special. But Noah Best is a 3-star for now, but don't be surprised if Noah Best ends up being a 4-star. I think he is in the race to be within that top 50. And as you know, Mallory, here at Dave Campbell's, to be a 4-star, you have to be rated within the top 50. I think Noah Best has a chance at it.
I think so, too. I got to see Midlothian in a game last year. I think it was against Frisco Lone Star in a playoff game. But I love that game because it was full of prospects.
Did he pass the eyeball test?
He sure did. Now, yeah, that game was full of prospects. But, yeah, that offensive line, you're correct, last year was kind of electric for Midlothian.
Nelson McGuire,
too. I was also watching him as well.
He was like one of the big sleepers last year that kind of burst on the scene during his senior season because he went from defensive line to offensive line, and his recruitment exploded. But I'm sure that they had a lot of fun coaching that group.
Absolutely. At number 3, let's go to Port Neches, Texas, and talk about Port Neches Grove's Aaron Wolford at 6'4", 285. He already shut down his recruitment, sort of. Committed to the University of Houston back in February of 2025.
You said sort of, though. What's that mean?
Well, not I mean, you never know, right?
Okay.
I never want to until they actually put pen to paper.
I love that.
You see, you've taught me so much.
They're non-binding verbal commitments.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Until they put pen to paper, we always have to assume that it's not completely set in stone yet. And it could be. We don't know, but...
Well, if I'm a college out there, I would be trying to flip a commitment from this guy.
I would too.
I love his
He's
tape.
awesome.
He's to me, he's a guy that is a no-doubter. Very technique sound, always plays under control, puts dudes on their backs, doesn't let guys get by him. He plays right tackle because they had Jackson Christian playing left tackle last season, and I think he'll kick over to left tackle this year, most likely. But when he gets to college, he'll probably move inside, where I think he'll be even better because he'll be protected on both sides with another body, and that'll allow him the freedom to just kind of overpower and use his leverage. He plays with tremendous leverage and use his leverage to basically control the front. And I think this is a big get for Houston. Do not overlook a great interior offensive line commit, Cougars fans, because this guy can play.
Well, and it's funny because we filmed the top 5 offensive tackles like Monday or something like that. And we were talking about, Prosper always putting out these top tier offensive linemen. I think you could say the same thing about Port Neches Groves because, Jackson Christian, you already said, and then Jalen Garth as well a couple of years ago. Like, they're kind of like that pipeline for offensive linemen, too.
Well, they were the anchors on the state championship team, and they got them back to the stage this year, right? Jackson Christian's moved on, so now we'll have to see how they play without him. But I think they're going to be fine because this dude's going to step right in.
Absolutely. Checking in at number 4, let's go to Klein High School and talk about Nicholas Robertson at 6'3", 330. He's already made his commitment somewhere, and he's going to be playing for the Texas Longhorns, and he committed last week, very, very recently.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is a powerhouse heading to Austin. Really burst on the recruiting scene early because he's big and athletic. I think his sophomore tape is what really got in front of coaches, and they saw that here's a 300-pounder who can really move. But as he's matured, he's become even stronger, so his tape has become even more dominant. And we talked off the top about like pancakes, right? If you enjoy pancake blocks, this is the tape for you out of the guys that we spoke about so far, because he's an absolute mauler.
And to round out the list at number 5, we're going to talk about Dejon Moore out of Willis High School down in the Houston area. 6'3", 305. He also has some official visits scheduled, and he's got one to Maryland this summer. He's got one to Pitt, one to SMU.
Nice. SMU could look strong in this one maybe once they get him on campus. He was playing at Allen before he transferred down to Willis into the Houston area, so he was playing up in the DFW area. So maybe a school that he could be familiar with. Dejon Moore is one of these guys. I almost rated him as an athlete.
Really?
Can you believe that? I almost rated this big man as an athlete because he plays on both sides of the ball. He plays some defensive line as well. Absolutely overpowering. And if you have a chance to ever meet Moore, you have to shake this dude's hands. They're like cement blocks.
They like reaching up.
Yeah, they're like cement blocks, and he's very wide-shouldered. So it's kind of hard to paint a clear description of what makes him special until you kind of see like his sheer size and power with your own two eyes. But it definitely comes across on his tape on both sides of the ball. So I slid him in as an interior offensive lineman. I think he could play guard. I think he could play center. But there may be some defensive coordinators out there that are in his ear about him playing defense in college as well.
I've got his Twitter pulled up right now, and I'm looking at pictures of him and just a plethora of different college coaches. And yeah, he's big.
I don't think they do.
He's really big.
I tried to explain this. Even the pictures to me, this dude is really broad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You can tell from I think you can tell from the pictures.
All right. I didn't know if I could tell.
He passes the eyeball test.
You still appreciate it more when you meet him.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. But anyways, there you go. The top 5 interior offensive linemen in the class of 2026 in the state of Texas. Remember, if you want to see the full top 10 list, go ahead and check out texasfootball.com/recruiting.